Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 4, episode 7, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different today as we show you transfer deadline day through the eyes of our director of football and then play a big game against what are now becoming playoff chasing rivals Yeovil. That's right, we're all the way up in 14th place. We're looking up rather than down now. We're 12 points clear of Salford, who are in the second relegation place, and just 7 points off the playoff positions, where the club were expected to be at the start of the season. We've got some fantastic performers and have been doing really well, and I am absolutely in love with this save and this club at the moment. So before we show you what our director of football's done in January so far, I just want to mention Wayne Drury, who's been the star training performer. We promoted him to the first team. He's one of the homegrown players at the club. He made an appearance for them last season in the league apparently, but he's a number 10, he's fairly professional and he's developing really quickly. So I felt it was only fair we give him a chance, and he'll be training with the first team squad for the rest of the season. We have trimmed a little bit as a few of the backup players have left the club. Our director of football's obviously got a remit to try and reduce the wage bill. We mentioned in the last episode quite a few players have taken wage cuts, and that's continued with a few more. And as well as that, he's got quite a few out of the club too. So if I take you to the transfers, we want to show you what he's done in January already and what he's trying to do at the moment. So he's got Braden Shaw offered out on loan. He's just trying to find him a club that will take 100% of the wage bill, and hopefully that will work out then. Jamie Jellis, one of our backup midfielders, on a free to Notts County, another couple of £100 off the wage bill, but he's trying to bring a couple in too, and you can see he's been trying his heart away for a few others as well. So Dean Donoghue is the next option on his left back list. He can play left back and left midfield, and he's just a decent player. I think he'd be a good backup, and he's thinking ahead in case we can't keep our loan next year. So certainly a position we need another option, and the fact that he's versatile will help us out greatly. A decent experienced player, and I couldn't ask for much more. The other one he's trying to get is Stuart Walland, a striker, a natural pressing forward. You can see he's got quite a similar attribute set to Junior Moraes, but obviously he'd be coming in for either £300 or £600 a week, which is a vast difference to what Moraes has been taking. However, he has been making some sales as well. He's been trying to reduce the wage bill. He has got rid of Junior Moraes. He's gone on a free to Doncaster. He was earning £3,200 a week, the highest at the club, and his ability just didn't reflect it. He was really struggling after his initial spell of goals, and you can see his scouting summary's not very good either. So he's not one that's going to be competing for our first team, even if he'd have stayed. So a good deal from our director of football, although we didn't get any money for him. He's also sold Lewis Ward. He was a good keeper for us in a few games before January, but we've got a better replacement now, and we couldn't keep a backup keeper on £1,200 a week, especially with the financial trouble the club's in. He managed to get 20 grand for him too, so brilliant stuff all round. We've loaned out a couple of youngsters too. Will Appleyard, another goalkeeper. He was sold for free to Swindon, and then we loaned out Wayne Pickering to Canvey Island. But on the other side, you can see there's some excitement around signings. We did manage to get Burford back on loan again, the young left back. He'll obviously be competing with Donoghue if he does come in. We then got our goalkeeper Shamal George from parent club Liverpool. A brilliant deal from our director of football. He's been paid just £300 a week, and he is far better than Lewis Ward ever was. You can see in his 4 games so far, he's got a record above a 7 and has only conceded 1 in each of those games. A fantastic player, and I'm so excited that he's at the club. The next one was Sam Graham. He bought in a loanee from Sheffield United, a young centre-half, 3.5 star ability, 4.5 potential. He's supposedly the best at the club, but I think that's just because of his physicality. He struggles in the tackle and he's not very composed. So for now, for us, he's on the bench. He's behind Denham and Wilkinson, but it's good to have a strong backup, which we haven't had before. Next along the list is my favourite one. The director of football is taking advantage of the local links, and he gets Luke Berry in, the former Luton Town player, a brilliant footballer, struggled with injuries in game as well as in real life. But 130 appearances for Luton, who are now in the Championship, and he was just released last summer and is clubless since. He's made 1 sub appearance and got a goal off the bench, albeit from the penalty spot, and hopefully he'll be ready to start games sooner rather than later. You can see mentally he's a fantastic player. He's good technically and he can still get by physically. He's just not quite what he once was. He plays in that number 10 role, likes to get forward, shoots from distance and with power, and apart from arguing with officials, he's got quite a good range of player traits. And last on the list is Leon Smart, a loanee from Burnley, a really good central midfielder, 3.5 star ability, 5 star potential, a good passer of the ball and physically exceptional. A perfect man for our box to box role to rotate with Ferry, and he can also be a deep line playmaker, but Joel Ward is practically undroppable at the moment. So that rounds up the window so far. If we go to our transfer screen, you can see there's still nearly 2,000 in the wage budget. He's only trying to spend 375 a week on Donahue and nothing on Walland. So hopefully he'll be able to get 1 or 2 more in and we'll have an exciting deadline day to show you. If I take you to the squad very quickly, he's trying to get a new deal for Flores, which is great. He's been covering up front now as he's the only other one who can do it. He's been a superstar for me since he's been here, and even when he's been playing in the number 10 role, he's been scoring goals for fun. We did mention the thought of selling Georgiou earlier in the window. Our director of football hasn't made any movements at all, and Whittaker's picked up quite a bad injury, so we're happy to keep him as our first choice for now. I don't know what he'll be long term. I think it's more likely that Kennedy will go on the wing with Luke Berry in the middle. But Archibald on the right, he's picked up a month knock too, so we've got a little bit of a shortage in those positions at the moment, and Georgiou probably has to stay as a result. Joel Ward is the man who deserves a special mention. £210 a week, absolute superstar. Forget the 2.5 star ability rating. He's been getting assists galore and has been a wonderful central midfielder for us. At just 19 years of age, he's going to be fantastic. And finally, a couple more of the lads have taken wage cuts. Wade Slater, the sub-right back, dropped £200 a week. McKee in central midfield, who I mistakenly said had signed a new one in the last episode, has this time and dropped £300 a week from his. So we're in an absolutely fantastic position, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm loving managing at this club, and after the frustration at the start of the season with Slough, I feel like we're back on track again at our first professional club. So we're going to play through the rest of deadline day, see if our director of football does anything. We'll obviously stop off as and when he makes bids for players and agrees deals. And then before our game against Yeovil, we'll show you the schedule since you were last with me. We'll be back throughout the day as our director of football makes news. Okay, it's just 9:15 in the morning, but our director of football's already been busy. Walland's agreed a loan deal. We finally got a first choice striker at the club. 3 star ability, 4.5 potential. We're not paying any of his wage. He's a natural pressing forward, which is what we had anyway. And his pace and acceleration in behind is going to be fantastic. A really good player. And if we can improve him technically, he could become an absolute superstar. A perfectionist personality, but a young striker with plenty of quality for the rest of the season. If that's a sign of things to come for the day, well, we are very happy, man. The one bit of bad news is that Jellis has rejected Notts County. £240 a week stays on the wage bill. He's just not a very good player, and hopefully he'll go. We'll be back in a second with our next update. Well, how underwhelming was that? Update number 2 of the day is the end of the window. This is the risk you run in this kind of series when you rely on your director of football for deadline day entertainment. He hasn't done anything else. Don't worry about the Donahue deal. He's a free agent, so that one could still go through before the next game. I don't know if anyone else wants him. They do, so that's probably why it's taken a while. He may well choose Yeovil, and we could be playing against him this weekend. But fingers crossed our director of football's done enough, and he'll come and join us instead. Obviously the one signing we did make was the striker we desperately needed, so we can't complain at him for that, and Danny Collins has really proven himself to be quite good so far. Luke Berry's considered to be the signing of the window, and all in all I'm fairly optimistic moving forward, but I do hope we can just get that one more in Donahue. And of course there is a couple of thousand left in the wage bill, so there's still room for another free agent if he can find one. But with deadline day finished, we can put the focus back on football. So we're going to quickly show you the results since you were last here, and then we'll get straight into that game against Yeovil. So obviously you joined me on New Year's Day for that win against Lincoln, where we outlined our plans for the window. It was a brilliant performance away from home, and we're unbeaten since as well. We're playing like a side that should finish in the top half, and we went away to Port Vale and got the same result. Ferry and Archibald with the goals, a late consolation for Port Vale, which wasn't enough. We then drew at home to MK Dons, really disappointing as they equalised in the 90th minute. Joel Ward again with a goal in that one, a brilliant performance from him. And then away at Coventry we got the same result. Jordan Flores with a lovely finish from the edge of the box before Coventry equalised in the second half. But in the last game against Newport, we won 3-1. We were comfortably 2-0 up at half time. We were put under a bit of pressure, but Luke Berry scored a penalty on his debut off the bench in a game where Smart also made his first appearance for the club. So a really good 5 weeks for the club since Christmas, and hopefully we'll continue that against Yeovil. We'll be back in a second with news of the lineup. Okay, we're back for match day. Unfortunately, the one bit of transfer news since Donahue did reject us for Yeovil, who were able to offer him over double the wage, and I've no doubt he'll be playing against us today. Our scout summary says he's an atrocious signing, so I'm pretty glad we didn't get him in the end based on that. But he would have been a versatile option, and for £375 a week we would have taken him. Hopefully Danny Collins will go and find someone else. One player has gone out in the last few days. Braden Shaw's gone on loan to Woking. They're paying all £500 of his wage. He's not good enough for us, and hopefully he'll do okay there. But you can see we've got a bit of a crisis in attacking midfield. In addition to Archibald being injured and Whittaker on the left, we've now got a knock to Ben Kennedy, who hopefully will get through the game. And we've got Luther Wilding just recovering from injury as well. But let's go and pick a lineup. We're away to Yeovil and hopefully we can beat them to put ourselves right in playoff contention. So you can see two of the attacking midfielders that started the last game aren't fully fit. We've not really got any options in the reserves other than our new signing Walland, who will come in up front. Flores will move into attacking midfield, and hopefully that means Kennedy can go out on the right. So Flores into the number 10 role. He prefers to be a shadow striker. We've got to change the roles around a bit now, with a pressing forward role going in for Walland, the new signing. This is how we used to line up anyway. And then Kennedy on the right hand side switches into a support role as his inside forward. Luke Berry stays on the bench just for today. We want to look after him. He's had so many injury troubles and he's nowhere near fit. So another half an hour or so may help him out. And then we can give him a start in the next one if need be. We've also got Leon Smart and Mark McKee on the bench. Both of them can play in the 10 role if need be. And we've also got Draper the target man and Greaves the young right winger. Any more injuries and we'll have to put Wayne Drury on the bench. Although I'm quite excited about the prospect of that, to be honest. Other than that, we're as strong as we can be. We've got George in goal, Burford and Wilding are the fullbacks with Wilkinson and Denham in the middle, Ward and Ferry playing central midfield, Flores is in behind Walland, and Giorgio and Kennedy are on the flanks. Let's get into it. Fingers crossed we get a result. And how about that? We can't get into it. We've got 6 loan players. The sub-centre half's going to have to be sacrificed, I think. We are going to put Wayne Drury on the bench for him, just because we need to keep it down to 5. There's something our director of football didn't think about when trying to make us a squad full of loan players. Let's get into it. Second time lucky, and we've just got to give a couple of squad numbers out. Walland can take number 11, and Wayne Drury can be 13. We're finally into the match after all those hiccups. They're playing a more defensive variation of the 4-3-3. Ours is more the 4-2-3-1. We're going to assertively tell the lads to pick up where they left off. In fact, I've told them to prove a point, so completely ignore me. It's Yeovil with a kick-off, and hopefully we can make something happen. They're coming forward down the left immediately with Nash. They've gone back to the full-back and long over the top, but the highlight ends at 0-0. We've got a throw in from the left. It's a long one from Burford. It's bobbled around a couple of times. Back to Giorgio on the edge of the box. And Parrish makes a great save down to his right to tip it behind for a corner. Kennedy will take it. It's an out-swinging delivery. He's got a tight groin, so we need to watch him carefully. I don't know if he'll manage the whole 90, but we've got players like Berry on the bench if need be. Giorgio coming forward again to Ward. Ward gets it inside to Flores. Flores has been such a key player for us since I've come in, and he's also hopefully agreeing a new contract soon. Ferry gets it to Flores for the 3rd time. Shoots from the edge, and it's just wide this time. Normally he's so clinical from that sort of range. But 10 minutes gone, and we've certainly had the better of the match. It's good to see Donahue's not even made the bench for Yeovil. He probably would have been that 7th sub for us, covering the left and centre of defence. As Kennedy goes for a shot, but it's over the bar. It's harmless. It's not been a great game, but we've certainly had the better of it. It's Wilkinson with a delivery. I have no idea why he's taking it. He's certainly not set as one of the takers. He's the only bloke who can head a ball brilliantly. Flores shoots from the edge though, and a good save by Parrish as Flores hits the target from range again. Kennedy with an in-swinging delivery. Goes towards the back post. Headed behind again by Yeovil and it'll be another corner. Hopefully I'll be able to pronounce the word swinging next time, but the corner won't be seen on camera and we finish the highlight at 0-0. Nearly into the break, but Kennedy's got a free kick just before it. Parish makes a good save and gathers at the second attempt as the strikers were closing in on him. It's been a decent half. Yeovil haven't had a shot on target. So many times that's happened in recent games where we've not even allowed shots on target from our opposition. But at half time, it's still goalless. We'll encourage the lads to see if they can go out and win it, and we've got the kick off in the second half. Flores goes back to Denham, the centre half. Out to the right hand side. Ward gets it to Kennedy and back inside to Ward again. Ward's got time to bring it into Ferry. He's been challenged, but it's fallen for Ward. Going forward for Kennedy again with Flores. Flores inside, he's got two running off him. Goes back to Ferry. He's been challenged and it's going to be cleared away by Yeovil, and Green will charge away down the right flank. He's surged over halfway and it looks like he's starting a quick counter. Biggins for Yeovil. Switches out to the left back who's making an overlapping run. Comes into the box. Deflects down for Shaw, but it's been blocked and Ferry will clear it away. A very long highlight for the start of the half. Nash is coming forward on the left for Yeovil. Biggins has got the ball on the edge of the box to Shaw. Whitehouse from the edge with a shot. And George, the new keeper, has been fantastic yet again. He hasn't had to make many saves since he's been here, but his concentration's been excellent. 10 minutes into the half, and Kennedy delivers a free kick. Denham with the header, and it goes wide off the post. A goal kick for Yeovil, and with an hour gone, we're going to think about changes in a minute. Just over a quarter of the game to go. We'll make our changes after this highlight. Green goes back to the right back, Mills for Yeovil. He's going to come forward with Mehmeti, a holding player, a really good playmaker, the footballer. Whitehouse goes back to him again. He's going to deliver it forward. He finds that channel in midfield for Mills. We did say he was a good passer of the ball. Mills goes at the defence. He's not been challenged. Nash is in one-on-one and scores. And is the offside flag up? It is indeed. We've been saved and we are going to make the changes now. Just because we've been caught out a few times, I'm going to drop Wilding back to a full-back on defend. We're also going to take Flores off and bring on Luke Berry for him. And Georgiou's not really fit either, so we need to think carefully about our next move. We're going to leave him just for now. We haven't really got the options off the bench. Ferry's not had the best game, so Leon Smart, who theoretically is an upgrade, has come on for him. Let's get back into it, and we'll take Georgiou off in 10 minutes or so, unless Kennedy starts to decline physically. Just over 10 minutes left. Kennedy's got the corner to the back post to Wilkinson, headed by Berry, and it's a great reaction save, and he managed to hold it as well, Parish. We're going to make the final sub. Both Kennedy and Georgiou are struggling, but Georgiou's had so many injury problems, we've got to look after him. Wayne Drury will come on the left. He can play as a winger on support, and we'll get back into the last few minutes, knowing that we've given one of our youth prospects a chance on the pitch. Kennedy with a free kick again as we start to get some pressure on. Wallen cuts it back. It's a good save from Parish. Wilkinson back out to Kennedy. Cuts inside. Crosses for Volland. Just over his head. I keep trying to say Volland like it's German for some reason. Ward on the edge of the box. Tries to cut it inside, but a deflected clearance ends the highlight. And it's still 0-0 despite our continuing dominance. It's Parish with a goal kick. It must be a free kick. It's just outside the area. It's fallen to Burford on the left-hand side. Now Wilkinson. Back to George, the keeper. Starts to build it again with Denham. Back to George again. Nothing silly there, lads. A lovely clearance to the right for Kennedy. In behind for Volland. He's in one-on-one. Wallen shoots. It's blocked. And it's finally cleared away after 2 or 3 scrambles. And Shaw can bring it over halfway for Yeovil. I'm losing my voice, so I hope it ends soon. Wilkinson with a good challenge, and it's out for a throw-in. Wilding's picked up a late yellow card, but it would be lovely if we could nick the winner we deserve. Although as long as we don't lose it, we won't be too unhappy. Don't forget, this is a side up in 8th place challenging for the playoffs. It shows just how good a side we are. Our director of football's done some really good work, and overall we're happy to be competing at this level. A lovely ball from Wilkinson out to Drury. The young prospect trying to make a name for himself. What a ball in for Kennedy. It's a great save by Parish. But Wayne Drury, the youth prospect, with a quite wonderful ball to put him in. And unfortunately, Parish has been equal to everything. A minute of stoppage time left and Kennedy's got the ball. He finds Berry out to Smart. He's been challenged and now Whitehouse can clear it away for Yeovil. Finds Richardson on the right hand side. He's got it out to the left for Shaw. Hopefully they don't score a late winner because they don't deserve it. Shaw cuts it into King. Goes for the shot 25 yards out but Smart blocks it. King again with the ball out to the left hand side, but it's overhit and it'll be a throw-in. That's just about going to be the whistle when it's taken. Wilding throws it in. Berry's challenged. The whistle does go. A really good performance. We didn't get the result it quite deserved, but a 0-0 and a fantastic performance overall. The lads were excellent and we have to tell them as much. And when we're doing that against the sides who are challenging for the playoffs, we know we've got a sneaky chance of getting up there before the end of the year. We're up to 13th now, just 6 points off the playoffs, and in fact just 7 points off 5th place. That would be remarkable after taking over in 22nd. We've pulled miles clear of the relegation zone. The gap's 13 points now, and we've got Salford next. If we win that one, we've basically wrapped up survival. A brilliant display. Yeovil move into the top 7 based on their result. And apparently their disallowed goal was controversial. But according to the media, we're in a disappointing 13th place, despite an 8-match unbeaten run, which shows how well we've done to turn it around. And if we continue to play like this, and the side with the quality we've got, I really reckon we could make the playoffs surprisingly. And if we do that, we might get a big move in the summer if we're lucky, or we could even take this lot into League One. We've only managed to win one of our last 4 games, which perhaps is a slight concern, but overall I'm delighted with how this season's panning out, and long may it continue. If we go and have a look at the schedule, we'll probably come back around the middle of March, just because we should have our next youth intake by then, and then we'll do one more episode towards the end of the season. So 2 more to come in the regular league season, and hopefully we'll have some more from the playoffs after, if we can get on a run and continue to do well. It does beg the question how this manager got sacked in 22nd. They're far too good a side for it, and Danny Collins has been a great addition as director of football. But that will be all for this episode. If you did enjoy it, please put a thumbs up on the video. It is the first episode in the new year, so I hope you all had a happy new year and a Merry Christmas before that as well. We did do a special mini-series from FM19 over the Christmas period, so if you haven't seen that yet, then go and check that one out. It was plenty of fun. It's only a 4-part series, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. It's something completely different, so let me know your thoughts on it. But in the comments for this one, let me know what you think of our unbeaten run. How do you think our director of football's done in the January window? And more importantly, are you optimistic like me? And do you think we can sneak a playoff place? Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories. This one, The Head Coach, where we're currently with Stevenage. And our other series, Part of the Furniture with Torquay United. We're well into season 4 in that one. And now's the perfect time to catch up if you haven't already. We'll also have weekly content from my FIFA 19 lower league career. You may have noticed there was a summer transfer special yesterday on the channel from that series. It was a lot of fun and I hope you enjoyed watching it. But a massive thanks for following this one as always, and we'll see you next time.